How you doing, TESLIM?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, mate.
I have a lot to say. God.
Talk to me. Go on.
So
Talk
where do I begin? So the first thing I have to say is to those who have been saying they want to be entertained. I hope you guys are entertained watching us lose every week. I hope that's very entertaining to you. Even the entertainment that this manager promised us, he has failed on. This manager is an absolute liar because if you go back to his press conference when like not long after the first 10 games, after Chelsea the Chelsea lost 4-1. When we lost to West Ham, he was talking about how he was talking, and if you want to confirm, you can go to my channel, just watch the video. He was talking about how he doesn't care about entertainment. He plays this football because it wins. He doesn't care about how we look doing it. He just wants to win. And then this season and towards the end of last season, he's talking about how he just wants to entertain. But that wasn't what you were saying before. He's the one talking about how he wants his players to take risks and he encourages risks. Bissouma does it against Arsenal, which I think is quite stupid. You saying that you encourage them to take risks.
Yeah.
Bissouma does it against Arsenal and you haul him off. You take him off the pitch. Absolutely hypocrite of a manager. He signs Brennan Johnson, brings him in to replace Harry Kane. What were you thinking? Brennan Johnson is a player that you know cannot take on a man. Dribbling is not part of his skill set, and your system requires managers that can take on men. Yet you bring in Brennan Johnson, and he was seen as a priority target. That's what we were told then. I genuinely think that this manager is not London Ten Hag, in the sense that I understand that Tottenham fans want to back a manager, but he's not the right man. And we've seen what backing Ten Hag has done to Manchester United. I think he has similarities with Steven Gerrard in the sense that everybody's saying, "Oh, Tottenham squad is not that good," and I'll come back to that. Everybody's saying Tottenham squad is not that good, but we saw how bad Villa were under Gerrard, and Unai Emery came, and then we saw a different team. I'm not saying Tottenham Hotspur squad is the best thing since sliced bread, but we should not be 15th, even with our injuries. That is 100%. And everybody's talking about Daniel Levy. The fans are trying to switch the blame. And Jim fans are saying, "Oh, it's Daniel Levy's fault." This has nothing to do with Daniel Levy. Yes, our squad is not the best, but there's a reason why we've not finished outside the top 8 in the years I've been a sports fan. I've been a sports fan since I was 13, and I'm 20 now, 2021 this year, since 2017. So there's a reason why we've not finished outside the top 8. So nobody's going to tell me this has anything to do with Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy didn't back him. Yeah, Daniel Levy didn't back him, granted, but we should not be sitting 15th. We should not be in a relegation battle, which we are in, and we should not be losing to Everton 3-0 first half. We should not be losing 5-1 to Liverpool in our home. That has nothing to do with Daniel Levy. And also, to those people talking about Arteta, Arsenal gave Arteta time. In Arteta's first 11, Arteta had the likes of Luis, Socrates, Maitland-Niles, Pereira, Reece Nelson. And Postecoglou has had the likes of Vicario, Van de Ven, Romero, Pedro Porro, Udogi, Madison, Bissouma, Bentancur, Hugminson, Solanke, Kulusevski. These are good players. Nobody's going to tell me that you compare that to Arteta's first 11. So don't come here talking to me about how we should give him time, this, that. Look at Arteta. This has nothing to do with Arteta. This manager is not good enough. Also, the fans. Now I'm coming to the fans. All of you who have been telling me that I should back this manager, I'm coming for every single one of you. All of you who are in England and are there singing and Postecoglou's name while we're losing 5-1 to Liverpool in our backyard are absolutely embarrassing. And I don't care if you're supporting this club more than me. I would not accept that as a fan. I would not accept that. Even I do my best as a Tottenham fan from my country, and you people are absolutely embarrassing. If you are the representatives of the fans going to the stadium, you're losing 5-1 and you're there singing, you're absolutely embarrassing and you're absolutely shameless, in my opinion. And also, I have seen a lot of our players regress under this manager. We've seen players like Van de Ven, his performances have regressed. We've seen players like Romero, his performances have regressed. Udogi, his performances have regressed. A lot of the players in our team, Son, his performances have regressed. A lot of them are regressing, they're not progressing. So if you're saying give this manager time, this manager is going to ruin our players and is going to keep on getting them injured because his training schedule is messing up our players and their bodies. He's telling players to run for 90 minutes is absolutely insane, and that's why nobody does that. It's not possible, it's not sustainable, it's not something that we can do. I gave up on this manager game week 2 of this season. I was backing this manager until game week 2 of this season. And everybody would look at me like, are you crazy? We won 4-0 against Everton game week 2 of the season. But game week 2 of this season, first half were absolutely atrocious. And then we came second half and we beat them. And I was like, this is not sustainable. Because when we're doing this under Conte, everybody was calling us the second half team. And then when we're playing well in one half, playing by the one half on that hand, people were saying, oh yeah, but we changed stuff and we won. But under Conte, it was a different narrative. And I'm going to come to that as well. And now, so our scouts, Johan Lang, this man is an absolute fraud because I watched that in DIA today for Everton, and you're telling me that he signed that guy for 17 million and we signed Otterbeck for 25 million. My God, that guy needs to be spanked out of our club. That man needs to be chased out of our club with a broomstick because he's committing absolute daylight robbery at this club. I'm not even kidding. He needs to be chased out of our club. He needs to be flogged out of our club because I don't know what he's doing there. And to those who are talking about how give him time, there's one thing I can say, and has been consistent with Tottenham under Ange. We've been consistently mid-table. And after the first 10 games, we were, or since the first 10 games, God bless Salva for this, we were 9th. And this season, I think we're 15th. So we are consistently mid-table under this manager. And I think I have enough data to show that this manager is not good enough for our club. I understand why Daniel Levy doesn't want to sack him because this is a manager who this is his biggest job ever. This is the most salary he has ever earned in his life, and he will do anything to keep his job, which is why he's acting as a bulletproof vest for the board, and the board absolutely love that, which is why they want to keep him as much as possible. You don't want another Conte who is going to call you out. You don't want another Jose or a Poch who is going to call you out. This manager is everything the board dreams of, except from the fact that he is not good enough. So, which is why a lot of people like me myself do not understand why they've kept him so long. Well, I do understand. I see the logic in it because if I was an owner, I would do the exact same thing. From a business point of view, it makes absolutely so much sense. But now that we're facing relegation, this man needs to get out of my club. And I was even willing to keep him because of the cops. For now, just get him out. Just get him out. And I will tell you guys what I want. I'm sorry I'm going on a tangent, but I do have a lot to say.
Keep going, TESLIM. Keep going, TESLIM. I'm enjoying what you're saying.
Get it all off your chest, brother. Get it all off your chest.
Now, the media as well. I'm calling out the media as well because I've called out the fans and I'm going to call out the media. The media are absolute hypocrites. And the reason why I say the media are hypocrites is because I don't know how Tottenham Hotspur have been in lower mid-table and the whole agenda or the issue framing, the agenda setting, because I'm a media student, the issue framing isn't looking at it from the angle of this man has done an absolutely horrible job. They are guiding him saying that he has had injuries. But last season, when Ten Hag had injuries, nobody was saying Ten Hag had injuries. Everybody was saying, oh, this man needs to get sacked. The only reason why Ten Hag kept his job last season was because he won a cup. And now, because the media like and cover, they're ready to back him and protect him, which is absolute. That goes against everything that you are meant to do as a media professional. That goes against the very ethics of being objective as a media professional. So, and this is a course that I studied in the uni, so nobody can even tell me anything about that. But yeah, so that goes against everything, and they're absolute hypocrites. The English media are not doing their job. The only person that I can say has called out this manager for what he is Rory Jennings. Because I remember Rory Jennings saying this on TalkSport. You guys can go and check it. He was talking about how Tottenham Hotspur is lower mid-table, and he doesn't understand why the narrative around Ange hasn't been, oh, sack this guy. I don't understand it either, and I can't comprehend it, but it is what it is. The media are going to do what they are going to do. They're going to protect who they're going to protect. If they like you, good for you. If they don't like you, they will want you out of the club like they did for Anthony Conte. So yeah. What was that say? Yeah, the manager that I think is going to be able to do a reasonable job with Tottenham. So earlier in the season, I was saying I wanted Iraola, but I went to do my research on him because I wanted to know what I was getting. Because it's one thing for you to be following a club from afar and you're not watching them every week, and you're like, oh, this manager is doing well, I want this manager. And then it's another thing for you to actually look at what this manager does tactically and see how that fits with your team. And I think that's what makes a good relationship. It's about the fit. It's not about the manager's name. It's not about anything, which is why Maresca is doing a good job at Chelsea. It's about the fit. And I don't think that Iraola is a good fit for Tottenham Hotspur. currently as the squad is. And the reason why is that if you watch Iraola, his wingers have to do a lot of defending. And I don't think that Tottenham Hotspur wingers can do that. I don't think that the likes of Son and Brennan Johnson would go back and work their asses off like Semenyo does for his team in Bournemouth, which is why I don't think that Iraola is a good fit for us. The manager that I think would be an okay fit for us, considering what is available, is Thomas Frank. And the reason why I think that is because I think Thomas Frank is somebody that adapts to what he has. And also, we know that we signed players like what's his brother's name? Brennan Johnson and Archie Gray over Brentford. So these are players that Thomas Frank supposedly knew that he could work with. I know Brentford don't necessarily, I'm guessing they don't necessarily sign players for the manager, they sign players to for profit and whatever. But these are players that I guess the manager could work with. So I think that Thomas Frank would work with the team better than Postecoglou will. And I think that he also plays with a back three, and we have two of the best wing backs in the league. And we have very good defenders if you don't tell them to stay at the halfway line and run how many yards back. So, or tell Min Son, who is past his peak, to be dribbling from the halfway line, or sorry, from the touch line into the penalty box to score. When the amount of skill it requires and energy it requires, as well as the pressing that requires, he can't physically do it, which I think is absolutely stupid. Telling our right back and left back to stay in the number 10 position when they are arguably one of the best or worst shooters or passers we have in the team. I know Pedro is good at that, but it is more sensible if you have your winger staying there and then your fullback staying wide, which is what most managers do. But as for Postecoglou, you can't tell him that. You can't tell Ange guys that. So whatever, try to defy every logic that has worked all these years and say, "Oh, this is the Ange way, is what we do, mate." Well, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm done with my tangents. You guys can ask me whatever you want to ask.
What would you reckon about, you said Thomas Frank, what do you reckon about Marco Silva?
I think he's someone I'll take as well. I think I would even take him. I think I might even take him over Thomas Frank, but that's on surface level. I've not done my research into him, but I've done my research into Frank. So that's why, sorry, that's why right now I'm saying I'll take Thomas Frank, but I've not done my research into Silva. But maybe right now on surface value, I'll probably, or surface level rather, I'll take him as well. So, yeah.
I love Thomas Frank. I think he's a fantastic Premiership manager and he's done an incredible job with Brentford. My only thing is, when you say he's available, I don't really think he's available because Brentford are way ahead of us in the league. He's got a fantastic connection with the club and with the fans. Why in the world would he want to join Tottenham Hotspur? I don't understand.
Should I tell you why?
Yeah, I'd love to know.
Because the problem with Tottenham Hotspur is not the players. I get that the players have been playing badly, but it's because of this manager. You can't tell me that Tottenham Hotspur right now should be 15th, even with our injuries. You can't tell me that. Nobody can convince me that. And if you look at a lot of this season, everybody's saying, "Oh, our defenders are missing. Our defenders are missing." A lot of this season, we've had Sal, we've had Bissouma, we've had Son, we've had Shalake, we've had Kulusevski inside the lineup, and we've been saying that Archie Gray has been playing well. We've been saying that Jed Spence has been playing well. These are the defenders that are filling in. So you can't tell me that it's because of Van de Ven and Romero are absent that we are not winning games. Do you get what I'm saying? Tottenham Hotspur, under a better manager, will be higher in the table. And aside from that, majority of these injuries, and I'm not going to pretend like we haven't had injuries under other managers. We've had injuries under Conte, we've had injuries under Jose, we've had injuries under several other managers. But the reason for these injuries is because of how this manager is training these players. I mean, the degree of these injuries and the magnitude, the amount of injuries we've had is because how this manager is training these players and because of how the manager wants to play football. You can't be pressing for 90 minutes. It's not sustainable. It's absolutely not sustainable. You have to choose your time to press. If you guys do your research on Iraola doesn't press for 90 minutes. He chooses his time. When you come to the midfield, that's when the midfielders press. He doesn't press for 90 minutes. A lot of managers, you don't just go there and run for 90 minutes. It's not sustainable. It's not possible. It's not physically possible. You're going to play 38 games in a season. You're going to play in FA Cup. You're going to play in the Carabao Cup. You're going to play in the in Europe. And that's why a lot of these managers, there was talk last season about how Arteta was being conservative with Arsenal, and then we saw the second half of the season they went to an absolutely new level because they were trying to conserve their energy for the first half of the season so that they can go hard at the second half of the season. There's a reason why managers change the way they play. And this manager is coming here telling me that he wants to press for 90 minutes. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Like, how does that not defy? Bro, I don't even know what to say, man. I don't want to be disrespectful because of that. He's an elder, but it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense, in my opinion. That's my opinion. In my opinion, it makes no sense.
TESLIM, appreciate the call. Thanks for calling in today, my friend. And hopefully we'll speak to you soon.